Sol Flores looked at her again. Minted campaigning personnel, recounting her history of sex misuse as a kid. Why didn't you speak? Nobody, they requested to aware. Who was he? How length did the go on? I was just 11, withdrawn Flores. It was odd to be talk in such a particular regulation on the misuse thing. How had certain her lifetime and career as a public employee and lawyer. She'd show it in general, but the detailed information were difficult to say on. It was 1984, told Flores, as she memorable the high school art draft. How became a kid's at first link of defense. She solved to construct a big wood trunk. Flores memorable how brightly she colored it, crimson and amber in flowers. She could see them as she closed her eyes and talked. Flores would fill in the trunk at overnight in all the books and toys she had and gatehouse it versus her doorway. Time her mom treated at overnight, a man who was residing in them would slide in her chamber and raise her clothing. The box would scratch versus the rug while he outdoor the doorway and frighten Flores wake. At age 11, Flores would screw up and struggle him away. How's it, told Flores personnel. How's yours? Discovery campaigning ad. Permanent in the corridor of her infancy household, Flores, now a at first time more Democratic applicant for convention, stared in the chamber and said voters of Illinois' 4th congressional area on her misuse. She ends the ad in the rallying cry of the number Me Too motion, I'll struggle as difficult for you in convention as I did to defend myself. Which began as a hashtag usually versus offensive men in force, excited in policy accountable for estimated assaulters, and is now propellant several policy candidacies in a historical year for female as recording numbers run for regional, country and domestic office space in 2018. Flores, Execution CEO of La Casa Norte, a non-commercial organization how provides habitation and services to homelessness families in Chicago, told Trump Card's poll crystallized to her how slight PAR exists in the US policy and force pattern. The number Me Too motion, told Flores, is transferred out of the disappointment how force win change except by the government looks more than love the human beings he's imaginary to present. The Trump Card White's building, told Flores, surely bears slight similarity to Flores' lifetime or the lifetime of her area. We requirement to changing the person of convention, told Flores, fleeing in an outdoor chair created by the resignation of Representative Luis Gutierrez. I wish voters to aware I've been down there. I've struggled fair love them. I fought my way of. I will struggle for them fair as difficult. The country of number Me Too in convention in Detroit, more Democratic Michigan lawyer general applicant Dana Nessel telephone call. The number Me Too motion the odd, drive strength for female candidates love her in 2018. I believe how's a big portion of why female are fleeing for office space. Since they aware how portion of enabling how sex oppression does not get location in the highest levels of by the government by manufacturing specific we include more than female down there. Nessel unapologetically and emphatically done number Me Too the central element of her campaigning. Nessel's Discovery campaigning ad was written in her residing chamber on a shoelace budgeting, as she looks directly in her telephone chamber. While thou re-selecting Michigan's following lawyer general, ask oneself the, told Nessel. Someone can you confidence largest not to show you their penile in a vocational installation? Is it the applicant who doesn't include a penile? I'd say as. To her surprise party, the ad landing on Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel how overnight. Nessel has no regrets, she told. I was manufacturing a severe spot, told Nessel. Which significantly contributes to the issue of sex oppression is while you don't include quite female in official position of force. Nessel, a attorney who has consumable her career as a sex crimes attorney and civilian rights protector, looks to the Trump Card White's building as her artifact A. We type Donald Trump Card as potential one of the lowest offenders, told Nessel. How kind of color hearing loss, how full absence of insight of why how would be busy to the female who dwell in the nation is precisely which we're fight versus. In November of 2018, We are departure to see a catastrophic shove behind to which we've seen via the trump card authority. We're fight behind versus the concept how female are thing, how you can feel, you can misuse or bother, but not to be undertaken severely. We're departure to get behind our country offices. We're departure to get behind our Fed offices, and we're not departure to get it over. If down there is nobody who enterprising behind immediately and decisively on Donald Trump card, he's Rachel Crooks. Less than rather than 1 monthly up the 2016 president poll, Crooks went social in an allegation aimed at Trump card. Crooks told how, more than rather than a 10 years back, she welcomed Trump card external and lift in Trump card rig. She was a secretary in the House and says she was trying to be warm to one of her business's industry partners. Trump card, she alleges, kissed her on the jaw and cheeks often for protocol out of her agreement. Recent monthly, Crooks proclaimed her candidate to be a more Democratic country member in Ohio. Policy story has seen the up. In deceased 1991, the nation was consumption in the confirm hearings of high trial candidate Clarence Thomas. Anita Mound, a ex-servant of Thomas, charged him of sex oppression. Same visible how human beings saw on their TV screening each day was a dark female, meeting one, in front line of a pane of 20 whites, older men, who were creature rather crucial of her and her concoction versus Clarence Thomas, told aide Professor Kelly Dittmar, a scientist at the Center for Us Female and Policy. Lot female at household saw how as a precise presentation of their underrepresentation in convention. How was a mobilization strength for lot female to both of promote some female to run and to believe on fleeing for office space themselves in how year 1992 became named as the year of the female, as a recording quantity of female ran for office space and done historical reached in convention. 2018 mirrors 1992 in the quantity of female fleeing for office space, told Dittmar, nourished by a domestic talk of injustice and sex oppression as a outcome of the sort disbalance of force in by the government and industry. Following number Me Too, more than female sense authorized she warning how 2018 differs Indiana how common betrothal by more democratic men and female is up but lot of them are fleeing versus incumbents, so the definitive percent reached in office space may be reduced rather than 1992. But the change in the domestic and policy talk can't be overestimated, told Dittmar. Number Me Too allows both of men and female, but especially female, to say the question has to be dealt in social politics. Hades yes, told Mary Barzee Flores, as she waited if to run for convention. In Florida's 27th congressional area, Republic Ileana Ros Lehtinen was modest, manufacturing the various area a potential profit for Democrats. In a overcrowded box, Barzee Flores, a at first period applicant, necessary to enter herself to voters. She chose to start in an at-the-job attack by her officer while she was fair 17-year ancient. Barzee Flores was work at a Pizza Hut close her household, a job she desperate necessary in the months how accompanied her dad's flash die. She had found the Pizza Hut officer's woman was theft cash and informed the identity theft. While the female was fired, Barzee Flores was assigned to the job before detained by the woman of the officer. He future supported me in the rack. He lunged at me and groped me. I was frightened. Though if I screamed, no one would include heard me. Barzee Flores says she doesn't recall to the day precisely which she told or did, fair how she spurred him and controlled to get out of the radiator. She never said nobody, not though her sibling who as well treated at the pizza cabin. Barzee Flores' sibling would find out on the attack many decades after. Barzee Flores, a attorney, ex-social protector and magistrate telephone call Trump cards poll a upheaval. The man in special, the way Sames talked on female, the way Sames purified female, so rude and offensive. He's shocked us as female and done us mark our joint feet and tell, how's it? The is absurd. And how done me wish to go striker and say on the. Barzee Flores rotated and looked at the pizza cabin. I love to see at the and believe on how far I've go. How essential it is to struggle for female, who love how 17-year-old kid in the go-in radiator requirement to be fought to. And I believe it gives me goal. With the history was spelled, Sol Flores lose her initial to be the more Democratic applicant for Illinois' 4th congressional area.